Hey guys, I just want to put an explanation out here of what this video exactly is. Me and Corey want to start a new show, but my recording stopped very early on, so we just have this one segment here, and I decided to put it up because it was still a big news item. But until then, just enjoy the video and hope to see you guys on the new show. Alright, see you then.
Hey guys, welcome to this awesome podcast that we don't have a name for. I am Corey Willis, joined by Ryan Norum,
Hello.
and we're here to talk about some video games. We've had some podcasts in the past. We've kind of experimented with trying a new one, some new formats. We'll bring in some new guests, but this is kind of our beta episode. We're kind of trying things out, so we'll see how it goes. So we're going to start off by some headlines. The big news of today is Irrational Games is going to slowly fade away, apparently, because the lead of the company, Kevin Levine, wants to go and do other things.
Isn't his name Ken Levine?
Ken Levine? Yeah, I think you're right. You're totally right.
Yeah, it's Ken Levine, not Kevin.
Yeah, it's a hard job being the introduce the episode person. It's hard.
I know.
It's stressful. What's funny is, like, yeah, I follow him probably more than I follow him on Twitter even, and for some reason,
I barely know who the guy is.
yeah, exactly. Whereas, like, I follow him and read all the interviews, but for whatever reason, I forget his name. Anyways, so it's kind of a big deal, mostly because they're laying off around 100 people. So they're retaining about 15 people that are going to go with Ken to go and start some kind of new company, still at 2K, but kind of to do a smaller scale game, apparently. Kind of a bummer for those 100 people that are just like, oh yeah, you made that like game of the year winning game. Well, you're fired.
Yeah.
It's kind of a bummer. I mean, I guess it's because Ken wants to go and do something else, but I mean, it wasn't the biggest success. Ryan and I were looking into the sales numbers. Well, I mean, it did. I mean, it's like anything that sells millions. That's, I mean, it's still making money, but it wasn't, as big as they wanted it to be, probably. Wasn't it around 3 million copies sold?
No, I think the last number I saw was 4 million in July or something like that.
Oh, okay.
The website I saw doesn't seem to be too reliable.
Yeah. Still, it's, I mean, when Grand Theft Auto made or sold like 40 million copies.
Something nuts, yeah.
Yeah, then it's like, oh, huh.
Even Call of Duty Ghost is a disappointment, and it sold like 10 plus million.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's very funny. It's like when TV shows come out, it's like, oh, they only had 6 million viewers. Like, only? Like, really? How is that a failure when there's only 6 million viewers? So it's kind of interesting, the expectations. I mean, it's because of how much money they put into it.
Yeah, there's so much that goes into it. Like, recently I've been playing Game Dev Tycoon, and it's like, it's kind of not like that's a very like simple version of how games probably get produced, but just the whatchamacallit, the advertisements, and just how much time you put into the game as well, and there's just so many costs that you just cannot predict, and you don't think of until you actually try running and playing running a game, starting a game, making your own game. It's just like you don't think of these kind of things. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's more everything's always more expensive than you think. Like with Double Fine with their adventure game, how they're kind of splitting it into parts and kind of selling it early to kind of get money for the second part. Things like that. It's like, oh, they got over $3 million. That's nothing.
Yeah,
that's nothing when it comes to video game development. That's like a really low budget indie title, and they hired Jack Black and Elijah Wood to do voice acting. You know what I mean? So it's not just that, was probably a big chunk of money. Although Jack Black's pretty close, seems pretty buddy bud with Jack Black. So I don't know how much he had to be paid, but
yeah, Broken Age is probably one of the greatest examples of that. Like, didn't they only ask for something like $500,000 or something?
Yeah, I think it was like 500,000 was the initial bid.
Yeah, so they ended up getting 3 million. So he's like, oh well, I can make this a little bit bigger and a little bit better. And the game still isn't, it has great artwork and all this kind of stuff, but it's still a point and click adventure,
Yeah.
And he's like, well, now actually I may need more money, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, and I think I read someone said this about Kickstarter. It's like, Now you're kind of starting to see why like uh, publishers and stuff like that are a little bit, maybe going like, why aren't you giving this guy $3 million, $4 million, or why aren't you giving that much? And it's because like there's a lot more game costs than we know, and there's a lot more behind the scenes that us as consumers may not understand. And there's probably a lot of consumers out there that do understand, especially better than us. But
Yeah. Well, I think it's funny, like with Notch. I think even Notch is sort of out of it because he's Notch, and he made a really simple game and made millions and millions and millions of dollars with Minecraft. When he was talking to Tim Schafer about, oh, I'll fund Psychonauts 2. And then he was like, "Oh, that's how much it's going to cost? Never mind. I'm not funding Psychonauts 2." I think it was like $18 million
yeah,
was what Tim Schafer was estimating. No, I can't say names today. Apparently, like two of my favorite video game people, Tim Schafer and Ken Levine. Can't say their names.
Kevin Levine, his brother.
Yeah, Kevin Levine. Yeah. Do you don't know who he is?
I don't know who Kevin Levine is. No. Can you name any games he's made?
He made Before, and I'm just reading Steam games that I've opened. I don't even know. I don't even know what that is. Well, do you want to go ahead and transition to the Pokemon story?
Well, no, actually, there's one more thing with the Irrational Games stuff.
Okay.
It's not Irrational Games themselves didn't say it's a money problem, right? That's
No.
just speculation.
Yeah, that's just speculation.
Yeah, because
It
like
just seems like a likely pressure for. It seems like a likely reason for him to want to scale back, because when the company puts less money into the game, then there's less pressure to make that money back.
yeah.
So it just seems likely. You know what I mean?
Also easier when you're a big name. Like, there's gonna be a lot of people that are willing to buy a $15 indie game from Ken Levine,
Oh yeah.
and you'll make your money probably a lot quicker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely true. It's interesting that he did specifically say that he will be focusing on digital downloads,
Yeah.
which is, to me, is kind of like, well, duh, that's just kind of the way video games are now, but I don't know.
Yeah, so I think how it kind of broke out was on irrationalgames.com or whatever I don't know what their website is.
I think that's what it is.
And they just had a note just on the front page that kind of talked about what was going on. And so, other people have been speculating why exactly this juggernaut that had a game, like you said, that was Game of the Year potential for a lot of people, and was a Game of the Year for a lot of people, just all of a sudden say like, nope, we can't, or I want to change. I want to become something, a lot smaller, other than not be this, big name guy anymore, or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not necessarily, that's not the reason, but yeah, so just wanted to clear that out, because I don't think it, at least by the time we have started recording this, that was the only thing from Irrational Games to my knowledge.
Yeah. I think there may have been an interview on Gamasutra.
Oh, okay.
Although a lot of people have been reposting old interviews with him and then reading into them. They're like, oh, this is what he was implying when he said this in a previous interview last year. Like, I've seen a couple people do that. Yeah. It's like, oh, okay. Reading into it a little. Hey, guys. Well,
see, it's not easy.
No, it's not. I've tried this before. We've done this before. All right. Hey, guys. Welcome. Man, all of a sudden just like cannot talk.
Oh, that's hilarious. Can't get one word out.
I really can't.
You're getting two. You're getting the hey guys out.
Yeah, it's true. All right.